so sorry to interrupt your conversations, but we got to talk. We got to tell you why you're here. This is amazing. What an incredible group of people. This feels like our wedding reception. In fact, there are a few of you that were at our wedding reception, family members and friends. This is incredible. We have old friends, we have new friends, we have business partners. I don't know how we have this many people after having only been here for a year, but it's incredible that you all came out. Thank you so much. Like our reception, we're not going to have the opportunity to have quality conversations with each and every one of you, which you all deserve. So apologies, but please email us, we'll do coffee. But it has to be before October 10th. One of the reasons that we are doing this is we are actually uprooting for 2 months to go to the market, to be based out of Vietnam, and work on getting some customers for this business that we're going to tell you all about. So, real quick, agenda is we're gonna do some talking. We have some amazing people that are gonna speak here, but very importantly, we have some delicious wine donated by the Riveter, and you are in the Riveter if you didn't know, a fantastic female-forward co-working space. We are very proud to have been here for a year, and they've been wonderful mentors and sponsors. And we have some amazing food, China and Thailand and Vietnam. If you are hungry at all, please go do that. We don't want leftovers. Okay, why are we here? What are we doing? We are celebrating you. We're celebrating all the people that have been part of this journey, either directly as mentors and partners, or indirectly just as friends, as part of our network that we've developed here in Seattle. And we just want to say thank you. We want to thank each and every one of you for helping support this journey. And we also want to tell our story. A lot of people are like, okay, what's Lana Learn? What are you doing? And we tell them and they forget it. And so now, let's make this formal, let's make this official. So here's what we're doing. In short, our company that Tina and I founded is a global online education company. We are matching teachers from North America, North American accents, which is very popular, to students learning English all over the world. We're starting in Vietnam, Thailand, and China. We want to expand to the rest of Asia, and then Latin America, and then the Middle East and Africa. Basically global domination at some point. We are starting specifically in Vietnam and Thailand. I mean, it's a huge market. There are, I don't know, about 2 billion people learning English at any given time. There are a few thousand teachers from North America that are going out to be teachers to some of these students. Maybe some of you have been those teachers, maybe you know somebody, but it's not enough, and the demand is only growing. I want to tell you real quick our story, how we got here. Tina's going to talk more about the services and actually provide a demonstration of what we're doing. But first, I want to explain how we got here, and apologies, some of you have probably heard the story more than once. I guess I should go back about 10 years ago, no, make it 12 years ago, when I met Tina at the State Department. We were both working at the State Department, both in the Foreign Service. She was kind of on her way out. She didn't want to deal with bureaucracy and politics, and she wanted to do her own thing. I was kind of on the way in, which made things complicated. In fact, it's made things complicated ever since. But that was the origin. We started in the State Department, we started in foreign policy. We love foreign policy, and we love international affairs. It's the reason that we're here. So we travel all over the world, 7 countries in 12 years, and she's doing her thing and trying to make her first business work, which she has done very successfully. It's a business called Transcend Academy. It's college admissions consulting based out of Washington, D.C. It's served about 10,000 students in the region. And last year sometime, we had a conversation, and we said, you know what, let's consider a new chapter in our life. I was the economic counselor in Honduras, in Tegucigalpa, And we decided that I would take a break from the foreign service. We decided to come back to Seattle, my home, and Tina's adopted home. And I said, okay, what should we do? Lots of opportunity. And I said, why don't I join your business? Let's do this together. So we took the concept of Transcend Academy and we decided to take it overseas. We started in China. We went there and we found the market was saturated. Every Chinese kid that comes to a US university, they get a degree and they go back to China and then they sell their services. Hey, I can get you into a US university. So they didn't need the services of Transcend Academy. But what we did find was an enormous and growing and insatiable demand for English learning. So we said, hey, let's start something new. There's already a couple other companies that are doing this. There's one in China called VIP Kid. It's worth $6 billion. It is a massive market. We think we can do better. They're doing fine, but they're based in China, and people there said, we want a premium English company based in the United States with the trustworthiness of an American company. And we said, all right, let's do it. Let's start it. So that's what we've been doing. The last 6 months now, we've had our heads down, we've built this company, and now we're ready for go time. This is the launch. So Tina's going to talk a little bit more about the company and the services, but first I need to introduce the team. There is Alejandro. Raise your hand. Tall guy in the back. Director of Global Partnerships, our sales wizard. We have Cynthia, who's program manager and the runner for everything. She's out sick with the flu today, sadly. And we have Stanley, our tech guru. And then Tina. Yeah, so she's the CEO. Love of my life. She's been here for a year, and let's see. She was awarded last week the Puget Sound Business Journal 40 Under 40 Business Leader Award. Last week she met with the U.S. Senate to talk about entrepreneurism. Really, she's Create 33, Rebecca. It's the other co-working space that where members sponsored her to go meet with 21 other women entrepreneurs to talk to senators, to talk about better policies to make startups and small business more accessible for female founders. And then one other quick plug. Tomorrow, Tina has an op-ed in Crosscut coming out. This is a little set aside from the business. It's about refugees. And it is a little political. It is expressing frustration about the administration in Washington, D.C. Cutting the cap of refugees. So be on the lookout in Crosscut tomorrow. It's pretty amazing. Okay, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to you, Tina. And again, thank you all for coming, and do not hesitate to interrupt us as we're talking and get more food and drink. We have lots. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. It really is wonderful. I know everyone is incredibly busy and doing important things in your life, so thank you for coming. Lana Learn, that's why I'm here to talk about it. I would not want to do anything else other than trying to build a company from Seattle that goes global, that both does social impact work while making people a lot of money and investors, a lot of money. Because I think that it's really important to always be true to your values. And so being able to merge entrepreneurism, education technology, foreign policy, global issues is really why we're doing Lana Learn. So as Paul was mentioning, what we're trying to do is create an online global company, starting off with English. As Paul mentioned, we went to Asia trying to ask them about education services, but they asked us for an alternative way to learn English online, and they wanted an American company, and we came back immediately without any tech, without any curriculum, with paying customers. I think that demand shows that this market is broad. As Paul was saying, there are a couple companies already in the space, and 2 that are unicorn companies, but they're Chinese-based companies, and they're only 20% of the market. That means 80% of the market is wide open, and we want to get in countries that we care about and we have comparative advantages in. So we're starting off with Vietnamese. I am Vietnamese. I speak Vietnamese. Vietnam is the fastest growing country in the ASEAN region. It makes sense. And the second country we're going to also highlight is Thailand. Paul served in Thailand. He speaks Thai, even though I look Thai. Some people get confused all the time, and I'm always like, "Mai Kon Thai," which means I'm not Thai. And then I put to the right guy. But the point being is that these are the 2 countries we're entering first in the ASEAN region. ASEAN region also is the region that spends more money per capita on education than any other region in the world. So that's where we're going first. I'm also excited that we're able to do that here from Seattle with all of the tech talent, with all of the tech mentoring. I'm looking at some that have done that in the last year for us. So we wanted to give you a quick demo while also dialing in on our video conferencing platform, one of our key partners in Vietnam. So Stanley, if you could come up. So let me tell you about this partner really quick. Have runs Center Online. They run the tech platform for 80 English language learning centers in Vietnam, so in Tier 1 cities, in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. She has to make her video call quick because she's about to enter a press conference with the Ministry of Education in Vietnam. So that's what we're doing, is we're entering these markets with strategic local partners who can help us build the market and connect with people on the ground. We're also leveraging our contacts from the State Department. Paul and I were in the Foreign Service. So now our friends, 15 years later, are now senior in their fields, and so it's wonderful to reconnect with them to figure out who the strategic partners are on the ground as we go to market. So I want to introduce you to Ha. She's going to explain what she's doing, and then Stanley's also going to show you what he's been working on and our team's been working on with Lana Learn.
Whoa, thank you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the party, and just want to promote the website we're using. First of all, this is the scheduling website, so teacher and students will be here. And we have some teacher listing here, and if a student is interested in one of the teacher, they will click on the card and will be taken to the scheduling page. And after that, we have some quick tips and our latest news. So this is our beta we're launching today as we are starting our new venture. So right now, I'm going to hop over to the video conferencing app, and we're going to use the app quickly connect to the global partner in Vietnam. Let's see if she's there. Oh, great. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? I think she is not here. I'm gonna call her real quick and ask her to come to the laptop and then speak to us.
Hi, Tina.
Hello? Can you hear me? Switching. All right, this is her actually. Hello. Hi, you're on the big screen?
Interconnect to
She's on the browsers. Hi. Hello? gonna pause real quick. I heard.
Hello.
All right. Hi. We're live. You're on the big screen.
Wow.
See the crowd.
Wow. Hi. Hi, everybody from Vietnam. I'm actually sitting in our top engineering university in Hanoi, and I'm actually sitting in the automation lab, Rockwell Automation Lab. Really cool. With some students here with me. Hi. And so greetings to everybody from Hanoi, Vietnam. It is now almost 9 a.m. in Hanoi. And I'm so very happy to be on behalf of my team, Center Online, to say welcome to Lana Learn and to say greeting to everybody in Seattle. Center Online, we are a cloud-based language management system, and we are now providing service to and working with to over 80 language centers in around Vietnam. As you know, we are a long country, and the centers that we are with are providing English language training and teaching to over 10,000 students in Vietnam. And we are helping them to run their operation, securely, and also communicate with parents and students on the app all-in-one. And so I'm very excited to be on behalf of my team to partner with Lana Learn to bring quality language teaching and learning with authentic, qualified North American teachers to the Vietnamese students. Actually, some of them are supposed to be here right now. Many of the Vietnamese students we have spoken with have expressed their dream to be able to study one-on-one with qualified American teachers. And now with the internet connectivity is so available and affordable in Vietnam on that, and the robust learning platform and the lineup of qualified American teachers on the Lana side, their dream are going to become true. So in August, we found information about Lana Learn English language programs to our founder centers all over Vietnam, and the level of has been significant. And so we are very, very excited that Lana Learn's team is coming to Vietnam in a few weeks' time to meet up face-to-face with the teachers, students, and the center manager to learn about the students' needs for English language learning and beyond, and to find ways to discuss with them, find ways to ensure online learning of consistently high quality, but at the same time catering to the personalized learning needs of each student. We trust that together we can make it happen, and we also know that many of our students would continue to go on to study in higher education in the US. And by doing so, they will make the impact of our partnership even more meaningful and stronger. So, all in all, on behalf of the Center Online team here in Hanoi, we say, welcome to Vietnam, Lana Learn. Great start with business in Vietnam, and we wish everybody in the room success and health, and enjoy the rest of your. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for that. We wanted to be able to show you what we've been building, but also how we're able to serve students by partnering with local providers. So now, I'm so excited. We wanted to share the Lana Learn journey, not just through Paul and myself, but also highlighting some of the wonderful people in our community here in Seattle. and also in Austin, who have been part of this journey from the beginning. So I wanted to start off with my very first professional mentor. In the Foreign Service, I worked in Pakistan and Iraq, not the fun places. And the person I worked for, the big boss, was Ambassador Ryan Parker. So he taught me from the very beginning what it meant to be a leader, what it meant to be focused, because you don't win major wars by not being focused. And he also taught me about giving it your all in whatever you believe in. So he has a Wikipedia page. You can read it to see how amazing he is. But to me, he's really just part of my extended family. So Ambassador Parker.
Well, thanks, Tina, and welcome to all of you. Tina mentioned everybody coming from Seattle. I am not from Seattle, I'm from Spokane. It always gets loud. But in truth, statewide, we share some common properties, and I think one of them is the spirit of entrepreneurship, finding new ways to do old things, new ways to do new things. And that's, of course, what we're celebrating just this evening. There are differences. In Seattle, it's areas like cutting-edge IT or education. In Spokane, it's largely meth. The principle is the same. So speaking of meth, I met Tina in Pakistan, as she knows, and this was in what, 2005, 6? Yeah. Tina at that time represented a kind of foreign service officer we really hadn't seen before. These were young officers who came into the service in the wake of 9/11. It changed the world, it changed our lives, it changed our country, mainly in good ways, and Tina would be an example. They were motivated to join the Foreign Service, to make a difference, not to have a nice family life, but to keep our country safe through the tool of diplomacy. And again, Pakistan was a hard assignment at that time. Where Tina wanted to go next wasn't Paris, Rome, or London, it was Baghdad. I pulled a few strings. Actually, it took about half a nanosecond. I mean, anybody who puts their hand up for Baghdad is going to be there. What I didn't know at the time, of course, is that I would be following her. So in early 2007, I put down my responsibilities in Pakistan in the afternoon, and that night I assumed them in Baghdad. Ambassadors have to be sworn in. Normally that's a big deal that you do at the State Department, Secretary of State presiding, something like that. I didn't have time to get back to Washington. I mean, war was on. We had lost a couple of people in shelling the night before I got there. So I had to be sworn in at post, and I asked Tina, as a certified consular officer, to administer the oath of office. And it was a terrific moment for me, but also for everybody, especially our military colleagues who were still trying to grapple with what the Foreign Service was and what it did. Well, that was a magic moment. It gave me the chance to talk a little bit about Tina and how she got to be on that stage administering me the oath, because it says something very profound about what America is all about when we are at our best. She is the daughter of refugees. You know, those people we definitely want to keep out of the country. Somehow the administration got roped into allowing up to 18,000. Refugees and immigrants are the lifeblood literally of our country. We all know that. And you see in Tina just how important that is, how much it means to all of us. Her current endeavor with Paul is amazing. To use a combination of market awareness, everybody wants to learn American English, and cutting edge technology getting the right people at all levels of this. And, that's not just about American entrepreneurship. It's something larger. It is a form of diplomacy in and of itself. The direct contact students are going to have with teachers, native speakers of American English, are going to affect perceptions around the world, and it's going to make a difference. I've already pitched Paul and Tina on expanding into places like Iraq and Afghanistan, where you are seeing a new generation arise in both countries who, for all the problems and the security risks, have come of age in a free media environment. Anything they want to check or get to know, they can access it because the governments haven't quite figured out how to shut it down. So they are bringing something very new and very different and very good to their problem-ridden societies. And I think after you have taken care of China, you can move on to the tough ones like Afghanistan and Iraq.
Every week with Tina and Paul. Tina asked me to talk tonight about the dearth of funding that goes into women-led companies, and I could talk about that all day and all night, but I'm the last thing between you and your next glass of wine. What I'd rather do is actually talk about how Lana Learn and Tina are embodying the positive change that we need to flip the script on that narrative. Now, Paul, you know I have love and respect for you as a fellow recovering city government official, but I do want to spend just a few more minutes talking about Tina and her remarkable journey. You've already heard about the powerful origin story of Lana Learn, and Tina, you're using every bit of your expertise and your lived experience as the child of refugees to realize that global vision. And it doesn't stop at Lana Learn, if you can believe that. She's also deeply involved with a nonprofit called Camelback Ventures that is led by and designed for innovators of color. That's another touch point that we've had together on your journey. And last, we've heard about Tina being a policy wonk. It was an absolute no-brainer to send Tina back to Washington in my dual capacity, both as chair of the Center for American Entrepreneurship, which is a DC-based nonprofit, nonpartisan policy recommending body that is working to get government officials in DC to understand the power of entrepreneurship. And I could literally think of no better person than Tina to represent our region at a table with a newly formed bipartisan Senate caucus on entrepreneurship led by Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tim Scott. So clearly an amazing choice there. And so thank you so much for all of your work and everything that you do. You can see this is a team that leads with their vision and values. I want to encourage you to test the platform, to tell your friends, to grab coffee with these two before they go back to Vietnam. It should be obvious to everyone in the room that Tina was born to do this. You too, Paul. And I hope we can all take comfort in knowing that this is a team that is using technology to bring the world together. Thank you both so much.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. We are so incredibly honored and grateful for all of our incredible and articulate speakers. Thank you so much. It really means so much to us. Another round of applause, please. Okay, we're quick before we get back to eating and drinking and talking to everybody. We have a drawing. Delta Airlines was generous enough to donate a $500 voucher, and somebody in this room is going to win it. Tina, would you like to come draw? Yes. And the winner is
Carrie Ham.